Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that someone had quietly walked into your home while you slept. By the time the sun came up, they were already on a private jet somewhere over the Pacific. He had a signature, a phone call. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, March 2009. The Petronas Towers cut upward through a humid sky. Inside a quiet government office, paperwork was being finalized. And somewhere in the background, the financier had already begun his work. 27 years old. That gap, if you understood it well enough, could hold billions. Geneva, Switzerland, July 2009. Capital was moving. Banks were involved. Shell companies across multiple jurisdictions, each one existing on paper. This was not improvised. This was engineered. Money left M1DB accounts. New York City, 2010, 2:14 in the morning. The analyst had been staring at the same dataset for hours. $250 million moved through a company that had existed for 11 days. He sat with that number. A penthouse in Manhattan, $30.5 million, cash, through a shell company. A superyacht named Equanimity commissioned. A helipad, a swimming pool, a submarine dock. Private jets crossing 5 continents. The Wolf of Wall Street financed through money traced back to M1DB. $600 million through one personal account. He flagged it, quietly. That information slowly moved outward. London, United Kingdom, October 2015. What was placed in front of her that October was not a single document. It was a map. Financial records connecting 1MDB to a network of offshore accounts. Corporate registration documents from 6 different jurisdictions. She spent 3 months verifying every connection independently. Then she published. The story landed like a detonation inside the international financial community. Washington, D.C., United States, 2016. The global investigator moved through institutional corridors with the quiet intensity of someone who had spent a career studying how power hides itself. He had worked financial crime cases across multiple continents. $4.5 billion moved through more than 200 shell companies across more than 30 countries over a period of 6 years. Cross-border coordination began at a scale that had no real precedent. Shell companies were traced to their beneficial owners. A superyacht was seized in international waters off the coast of Indonesia. Properties in Manhattan, Beverly Hills, and London were frozen by court order. Bank accounts containing hundreds of millions were frozen before another transfer could be executed. The architecture of concealment was collapsing. The financier was now moving faster, less visibly. The trials that followed were not quick. They stretched across years, across multiple legal systems. The government official now stood without the shield that had protected him for so long. Guilty on charges of corruption, criminal breach of trust, and money laundering. Sentenced to 12 years in prison. Goldman Sachs paid nearly $3 billion in penalties. More than $1 billion in assets were recovered, the largest kleptocracy asset recovery in American history. But recovery and restoration are not the same thing. Billions had moved too deeply into hidden systems to be fully traced. The money did not vanish, but it moved into the dark. And some of it is still there. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, tonight. The towers still stand. The city still moves with the same hunger. But inside the institutions that were supposed to protect the wealth of an entire nation, the question this case left behind has never been fully answered. Sovereign wealth funds still exist. Offshore financial systems still operate. Shell company registrations still provide layers of anonymity to anyone willing to pay for them. The fundamental conditions that made it possible have not disappeared from the world. They have simply moved somewhere new. This was never only a story about one fund, or one country, or one set of individuals. It was a story about what happens when complexity becomes a weapon. When the very systems designed to move wealth efficiently become the systems used to move it invisibly. When the people responsible for watching either could not see clearly enough or chose not to. The financier built something remarkable, not in the way that deserves admiration, but in the way that demands understanding. The tools he used are not unique to him. They exist inside every major financial system in the world. They are available to anyone with enough knowledge, enough access, and enough patience. Until the systems designed to detect them are stronger than the systems designed to hide them, this story will happen again. It already has. It is happening now. Somewhere tonight, in a city that looks exactly like any other city, inside a building where the lights stay on past midnight, in front of screens where numbers move faster than any human eye can follow, someone is asking that question right now, and the system is not listening closely enough. This is not a story that ended. The towers are still lit. The city still moves, but the conditions that made it possible have not gone away. They have simply moved somewhere new, quietly, deliberately, and almost without a trace.